People keep asking whether Canada is heading into a recession. But here is the truth Canadians already feel in their bones. A recession would almost be a relief. What the country is living through right now is far worse, far deeper, and far more devastating than a temporary economic downturn. And the most alarming part? Americans are now sliding into the exact same crisis. A recession is simple. GDP dips, hiring slows, spending drops. It's painful, but it usually ends. What Canada and now the United States are experiencing isn't a dip, it is a long-term collapse in living standards. It's a structural breakdown that is hitting ordinary families harder than anything in recent memory. Housing sits at the center of the storm. Canada's housing market is one of the most inflated on earth, and Americans are beginning to face the same nightmare. In both countries, homeownership, once a symbol of stability and middle-class success, has turned into an impossible dream. Prices didn't just rise. They blasted far beyond what working people can ever earn. Even renting has become unaffordable in major cities from Toronto to Miami, Vancouver to Los Angeles. This isn't an economic cycle, it's a generational lockout. Then comes the crushing weight of debt. Canadians hold the highest household debt levels in the G7. Americans aren't far behind, and the gap is closing fast. Years of ultra-cheap borrowing encouraged people to take on mortgages, car loans, student loans, and credit card balances they could once manage. But with today's rates, the payments have exploded. Families are watching their monthly budgets get swallowed by interest alone. People aren't deciding between wants and needs anymore. They're deciding which necessities to sacrifice. Inflation may be cooling on government charts, but the damage is permanent. Food, insurance, utilities, transportation, everything costs dramatically more than it did just a few years ago. The price hikes didn't roll back. They stuck. And they keep sticking. Even if inflation drops to zero tomorrow, the financial wound remains open. What makes the situation even worse is the psychological shift. Canadians and Americans no longer feel like their hard work leads to progress. Instead, they feel like the system is rigged against them. They're earning more on paper but falling further behind every year. The middle class, once the foundation of both nations, is eroding in real time. In Canada, immigration adds enormous population pressure to an already broken housing supply. In the US, corporations keep buying up single-family homes, turning neighborhoods into investment portfolios. In both countries, the result is the same. Ordinary people get priced out of the very societies they built. This is not a recession. A recession ends. This living standard crisis keeps getting worse with no clear path out. It's a slow-motion implosion hitting Canada and America at the same time, reshaping both nations in ways that will define the next decade. Unless something changes, dramatically and soon, history won't ask whether Canada or the US entered a recession in 2024 or 2025. It will ask how two of the richest countries in the world allowed their own people to drown in a crisis deeper than any recession could measure.